The A16 iPad is pretty much perfect. It's the iPad that everyone wants at a price that is really affordable. The only problem that Apple made for this iPad is the really expensive keyboard. Hey everyone, Tech Dad here, and maybe you've picked up the A16 iPad for the low price of $350. But if you're like me, you might have hesitated on getting that Apple keyboard for $249. That's almost as much as this iPad, which I think is ridiculous. And I thought, surely there are more affordable options out there, and so I checked on Amazon, and there are all kinds of great options for keyboards at all different price ranges, and all of them are certainly lower than $249. And so in an experiment, I tried to pick out the cheapest keyboard I could possibly find just to see what the quality's like and what the typing experience is like. And I found this guy for $16.97. So in this video, I want to break down my experience with this keyboard. I want to talk about what it's like to type on it, its quality, and then I want to compare that to the Apple keyboards that I have for my M4 iPad Pro and my M3 iPad Air. Let's just see if going cheap is worthwhile. All right, let's get into it. All right, so this keyboard is made by the brand Kenki, and they did not sponsor this video. This is just me going out on a limb here and trying something affordable. It arrived in packaging that's very similar to an Apple keyboard box, so not too shabby. Now, this keyboard folio is currently $22.99. Its regular price is $27.99, and I just happened to get it on sale for $16.97. And it comes with the folio and a small magnetic keyboard. It also comes with a small instruction paper here and a little tiny charging cable for the keyboard. The instructions are lacking English a little bit. Welcome you to choice this Bluetooth wireless keyboard. Let's not judge the keyboard by its English. Okay, so when you get the A16 iPad in the case, you can see it's got cutouts for the buttons, for the speakers, and there is a cutout for the camera. And the whole thing works by magnets, and so you can kind of stand your iPad up here, and then your keyboard will magnetize to the folio. I have noticed that the keyboard does not magnetize well to the end of the folio. It tends to do better when you put it up closer to the iPad. The magnets are decently strong. It does hold the keyboard, but if I do shake it, it will fall off. So the color of the case isn't great. The one I chose, it's sort of like a bland tannish color. They do have other color options, but the links were different in Amazon, so I ended up finding a blue one, pink one, and so on. So not sure I'd recommend this color, although the keyboard itself is white and looks clean and fine. So the folio case feels good in hand. It does not shut your iPad off when you close it though, so I've noticed I still see my iPad glowing in there, so when you close this up, you just got to make sure that you shut your iPad off. Connecting the keyboard is very easy. There's a little connect button right here, and then you can just go into your Bluetooth settings and connect the keyboard. I had no issues with that whatsoever. So let's talk about the typing experience. It's actually not terrible, especially when you've got the iPad on a desktop. And so you can set your iPad at different viewing angles, and that's fine. The keyboard buttons feel fine also. It doesn't particularly feel cheap or cramped or anything like that. The typing experience was fine. Now, it's not as good a typing experience when I sat in a chair, so a lot of folks like to sit on the couch or in a chair when they're typing or looking at their iPad. I did not like the viewing angles when sitting in a chair. This case just wasn't good for setting the iPad up in a good way in my lap. I don't like the pencil holder on this case, and you actually don't have to use it. It looks like you can magnetize the pencil to the top of the case, and it doesn't have as strong a grip as it would without the case, but it seems to work okay, so that's kind of nice that you can still use the magnetize feature at the top of the iPad. If you do use the space at the bottom of the case to hold your pencil, please note that there's this little hole in the back that you can use to get your pencil out. I couldn't get my pencil out for the longest time until I figured that out. This keyboard does not come with a trackpad, but you can connect a wireless mouse. I did that with my Apple mouse here, and so you're good to go if you want that mouse functionality. Okay, so would I recommend this $16 keyboard over the $270 M3 iPad Air keyboard made by Apple? Well, I'm going to admit this feels a lot more solid and a lot better quality for sure. I like the magnetized design of the Apple keyboard. That is super nice, and it gives you that clamshell feel like a laptop. This is also great in your lap, and it's easy just to put away. And I'm pretty darn sure it turns your iPad off when you close it. So you can definitely tell the difference in quality with this keyboard made by Apple and this. I don't like the floppy design of this folio. It's kind of clunky and just difficult to work with and put your iPad away and get it back out again. But once you finally get it put away, I think it's okay. You just got to remember to turn your iPad off. You obviously don't have as good of viewing angles like you do with the Apple keyboard. But if you'll note, the Apple keyboard for the A16 iPad is completely different. It has a kickstand design, so I'm not even sure you're going to get really good functionality with that kind of design. The Apple keyboard also comes in two pieces, so you can magnetize the bottom portion, or you can just have the kickstand and get rid of the keyboard altogether. I'm not sure how that functionality would go. It doesn't give the clamshell design. I don't think that's going to work well in your lap either, which is why I didn't spring for the $250 keyboard for this iPad. I just don't think you get the functionality like you do with the M3 iPad Air keyboards or the iPad Pro keyboards. So would I recommend this one? Yeah, actually, for 16 bucks, how can you go wrong? It's worth a shot, and if you don't like this design, there's so many other keyboard options. You can even get a similar design to the Apple keyboard where it has the magnets and the clamshell feel. So if you're in the market for a keyboard for your A16 iPad, make sure you browse through Amazon first before you take the plunge and get that Apple keyboard. If you're already using a keyboard, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear about which one you're using. That's all I got for you. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.